Hi everyone, my name is Natalie. If this is the first time that you're watching my video, thank you if you're coming back. In this video, we are talking about this upcoming Capricorn Full Moon. It's the second and final Capricorn Full Moon that we're having in this Cancer season. So before I start, this video will be talking about, of course, the Capricorn Full Moon astrology forecast, and we'll end the video with a message for the collective through tarots and oracle cards. And if you haven't watched my previous video, you will be wondering why I am wearing sunglasses. I had a eye injury. If you are curious of how it happened, it's quite interesting, unexpected, but you know, all is well. I'm okay. And if you're interested to check out my previous video, click on it. It's kind of a manifestation from the Mars-Uranus conjunction in Taurus, and it's just, again, just reaffirming why I love what I do and how important astrology is to all of us, can be for all of us. Anyway, let's continue with the purpose of this video, which is about our second and final full moon in Capricorn energy. So if you have been following astrologies or watching my videos, you will know that this Cancer season starts and ends with two Capricorn full moons. And since we have two of them in the same sign, which doesn't happen all the time, when we have two full moons or new moons sometimes that happens in the same sign, we call them once in a blue moon. So yes, this is truly special. And when we have two, it means the first one and the second one, they kind of create this bubble because they happen in the critical degrees in the sign, the first and the last degree. And in this case, this is in the sign of Capricorn. So pay attention about your Capricorn house in your natal chart. What are the themes? What are the stories? What are the topics that you've been working on unfolding for you? Because it's putting a highlight on that area of your life, right? And Capricorn also talks about the structure, the system that we have in our own lives, in different areas of our life that maybe we're taught, we built throughout the years to support ourselves in those areas. It can be a bigger one, right? Our government, the structure that we have as a collective in order for the city, the family, the country to run, right? So this second Capricorn full moon is happening on Hong Kong time, July 21st, 6:17 p.m. Hong Kong time, or 21st, 6:17 a.m. Eastern time, so adjust the time according to where you are in the world. The sun is at 29 degrees in Cancer, and the moon is at 29 degrees in Capricorn. So if you watch my first video, you will know similar themes and stuff. And since I also just mentioned, we have two Capricorn full moons that kind of acts as a bubble to enclose, to kind of wrap this whole Cancer season for in a bubble for all of us. So it also can be that the second full moon is illuminating something for you that's been unfolding throughout the Cancer season. Or as a bigger picture, we have a few different timelines I'll be giving you, so you can just write it down and reflect on them later, and so or pause the video or so on and so forth, right? So this full moon is conjuncting Pluto that is retrograding in Aquarius at 0 degree, so next to each other, and the conjunction will be exact in the next couple of days. In one way, this full moon can be foreshadowing what's being complete, wrapped up, closing out later in November for some of us, because Pluto was at this full moon degree point 29 degrees last year 2023 around February or so, right before Pluto entered Aquarius in March. So for some of us, this full moon is highlighting what you have been working on, wrapping up, closing out since that time. And perhaps it's been unfolding since last year February, and you continue to work on this area of your life and make some changes and shifts throughout. And this full moon is kind of giving you that highlight moment, right? How far you've come, what have transpired over the year and a half, and how far you've come. And the moon is personal, right? It talks about our emotional, our private world, things that not everybody necessarily see and know about us. It's more private. So this full moon in Capricorn can feel very private and intimate for many of us. It can be a time to really go inward and reflect on what's been happening in our own personal life as well, right? And 29 degrees, like I said, is a critical point. It's the energetic degree, the last degree of a sign, and in Capricorn. So there's this sense of crisis and urgency, like, ooh, I need to do something about it. There's this sense of I have to, right? Or I can't wait anymore, or so on and so forth. Or like, what can I do? And this full moon conjuncting Pluto in Aquarius kind of also definitely makes this feeling more deeper, more transformative, and more intense and excavating for some of us. And also because the moon, Pluto conjunct together also is trining Mars in Gemini at 0 degree that just entered Gemini. So this also adds to that sense of urgency, because Mars is that action-seeking, action-taking planet. You really want to act on maybe what you're feeling or sensing or how you're doing, and so on and so forth. It can be emotional driven because it's about the moon, right? And Pluto is deep. So we are deeply feeling, sensing something internally, right? Maybe perhaps with what is happening in our own personal life, or maybe we're reflecting on what's been happening on the collective level, reflect us back, making us feel certain way about certain things happening in life. There's so many happening in the world right now. We can feel a sense of overwhelm and just really want to act upon it. While it can be a force to motivate us, it can also be very impulsive. So be mindful and allow yourself to slow down if you can, have time and space to process what you're feeling and sensing before acting upon it, before you respond to it as well, right? The Sun and Pluto is also sextiling Neptune retrograding in Pisces. So there's this helpful energy coming in as well to support it. Even though this full moon might truly stir up big things in the collective or bring up big feelings, emotions for us personally in certain areas of our life or in general. With Pluto, maybe some additional information is coming in, secrets might be revealed, more is being shown to us, or something is just bubbling up, surfacing for us, right? Neptune is here kind of reminding us to trust, to remain our trust and faith in the divine and the universe, that all is well. Don't fall into despair. Try not to spiral, even though I know it's sometimes easier said than done. So it's okay to escape a little bit, to give yourself some downtime, right? During this full moon that can feel quite intense. Yes, maybe it's uncomfortable. It can feel a bit emotional or hard, etc., etc. But right now, all these are coming up not to make you just feel bad, right? Not to just push you down, but they are all necessary in order to help you to maybe see things as they are, to face some kind of truth, to not run away anymore, and to get real about it, right? Saturn is the ruler of this full moon, Capricorn full moon. You need to know, right? Or you need to do something. You can no longer keep running away, right? Maybe there's some deep realization coming up. There's some kind of transformation that you've been moving through, right? But you need to know so that you can move through them, you can process them in order to transmute the energy, to transform this chapter of your life. Do something different. Allow yourself maybe also to embrace the process, because on the other hand, the moon and Pluto also trine Uranus in Taurus. So it can feel, like I said, discomfort, because it can be like, ooh, I don't want to change, you know. Uranus in Taurus is asking you to invite a new perspective, to allow yourself to open up to changes that you might not be super open to, but is asking you to, hey, stay open-minded, you know, just check it out, see what it is, because in the end it's all for the better good. It's better when you come back later on and reflect on it, even though you might not feel it right away, right? But it might require us to have different perspective, change our point of view, do something different, open up to different perspective and ideas, innovation, or so on and so forth. Uranus is also making a square with Mercury during this full moon. Mercury is in Leo right now, and this is only the first of the 3 Mercury square Uranus that we're going to experience. So when you hear me Mercury making aspect 3 times, you know, because Mercury is going to retrograde very soon in early August. So this is the pre-shadow energy. We already entered the pre-shadow energy, which I usually break it down into phase 1, 2, 3 of our whole Mercury retrograde journey, right? We have the pre-shadow phase 1, which we stepped in already as of July 17. So now this is the first time that we're experiencing the square between Mercury and Uranus. And the next one will be August 18, when we have the actual Mercury retrograde, the phase 2 of it. And lastly, the phase 3, when Mercury station direct again, and when we retrace the retrograde degree points again in September 6th, that is the third and final Mercury-Uranus square. So don't rush into anything just yet. This is the first time that you're experiencing this square. So see what comes up for you, what kind of thoughts is coming up for you, what are you thinking, communicating, talking to other people during this time. Because chances are this is chapter 1. This is part 1 of the story. You might circle back into whatever is coming up during this time, and you might need to do all the REs, right? Like reevaluate, readjust, during Mercury retrograde. So this aspect, this square between Mercury and Uranus, can be an income of sudden information, realization, aha moments. You know, it can come internally or externally, right? So see what comes up for you, how you're feeling it. And this can also be, since this is Uranus and Mercury, and it's happening in 2 fixed signs, Leo and Taurus. So something is fixed, right? Maybe a certain mindset, belief, or how things should be, how things should work, and income that energy. It requires you to act differently, think differently, make a change, move the energy, be open to new perspective, and so on and so forth. So this can show up for us individually or collectively, that is giving us that like sudden change, which can be like a breaking news, right? Which we have quite a lot recently. Also, I want to say that yes, this this full moon brings up a lot of hard aspect, you know, some of them out of the blue, some of them is just simply out of your control, big emotion with Pluto, with the moon and everything. But they're all here because for a reason, right? Like I said. And because it's happening right at the last degree with the sun in Cancer, the moon in Capricorn, the sun will enter Leo the next day, right, to kickstart Leo season, but also oppose Pluto as well. So the sun represents world leaders, right? And some of them are definitely in the limelight recently. Perhaps this full moon and the week after, right, next week I would say, we might see some news review around them. But this can also resonate for you. Look at and see what house is ruled by Leo, because it's going to the sun is going to enter then and oppose Pluto. So something might be revealed to you. Leo also talks about our life force energy, you know, what makes us feel alive. Opposing Pluto, this can be our power, the way we feel empowered, right? What makes us feel powerful. And the opposition can kind of review what's empowering you, what makes you feel power. But the opposition can also reveal the weaker, the vulnerable side as well. What are you struggling with power? And is there some kind of sense of lack, vulnerability, or a shadow that you need to see as well, so that you can work on it, so that you can feel more empowered because you work on it as well, right? So remember the ruler of this full moon in the midst of all these aspects, right? We have Saturn, the ruler of this Capricorn full moon, which is retrograding now in the sign of Pisces. It's definitely giving us a message to slow down, to be in a reflective energy, and to allow us to feel everything that is coming up. Saturn in Pisces, the last zodiac sign in this wheel. Saturn is also wrapping up its journey around this 12 signs, right? It's closing out something. Saturn takes about 29-30 years to travel through all 12 signs, and right now is landing on the last sign of the zodiac. So maybe for us, we're also, for some that's older, right, we're maybe wrapping up a big cycle as well. And also, all of us are wrapping up another important transit that is in Capricorn, which is ruled by the Saturn as well, which is the Pluto in Capricorn transit, right? And right now Pluto is retrograding and will dip back into the last degree in Capricorn. I know there's many layers of information, so bear with me. So whatever you feel like you're wrapping up, closing out in certain areas of your life or just in general, is right on time, right? Because we know that we're moving into something new soon, in the near future. So we need to make space for that, right? What no longer is working, aligning. Sometimes things need to break down. The old structure, system, beliefs, pattern, habits, or so and so. Something needs to break down, even collapse, to rebuild or start from scratch in order to build a better future for us, to that support us in the long term, in the future. So maybe we are in this transition right now, in this transformation of breaking down, rebuilding, or starting from scratch, and so on and so forth. Pluto will come back to this degree point later in November after its retrograde journey. And so just know that it's not that everything I'm mentioning is happening during this weekend or next week, right? It's going to continue to unfold in the next few months, while Pluto retrograding back into this point in Capricorn, and then station direct and come back to it again. So take a mental note, journal down how you're feeling, sensing, what is coming up for you, how your human story journey is moving through, because everyone is on their own journey, because we are, like I said, we are wrapping up this Pluto and Capricorn chapter that is in our life, and Pluto will not come back in Capricorn in the next 250 years. So this is it, folks, right? This is a time for us to really reflect this past 15-16 years, our Pluto and Capricorn transit in our life, that area of our life. What have changed and shift for you? What more is coming up? Maybe some kind of final aha moments, internal revelation, reflection, or whatever it is. Maybe it's also simply to allow yourself to know how far you have come over this past 15-16 years with Pluto and Capricorn, how different you are right now, the different version of you right now, what knowledge and wisdom you have gained along the way, you know, and how different you are. What are you looking forward to create for yourself? Maybe you're rebuilding, you're about to start from scratch, right? In that area of your life for yourself with what you have learned and accumulate the past 15-16 years. So please do not rush. See what comes up for you and continue to unfold in the next few months for the rest of the year with this transit. So this is the energy of this full moon in Capricorn. Pretty big, I know. So just take some time to process what I've just said, right? Now let's take a look at our collective messages. Whoa, okay? We have the World, which is the card of Saturn, right? And we have Knight of Sword and Chariot. Major arcana of season, Cancer season. We're wrapping up Cancer season with this second full moon in Capricorn as well. So big major energy coming up. This is that sudden information, whatever's coming up from this full moon, right? This can be a message, an internal revelation, aha moment. This can be something that is happening outside from the collective that is reflecting back on you, or you reflecting on your own journey as well. So see what comes up for you. It can be subtle, it can be big, right? Everyone again is on their own journey, so it can be different. It really allows you to reflect on your journey. What is no longer serving you, aligning with you? What is closing out, or what needs to close out? What needs to end for you? Because you're not bringing them forward, okay? Because a heads up, this is kind of that in-between year. So is kind of next year too. Next year, our outer planets are going to move signs. And there's still some back and forth energy, but then by the year later, 2026, all the outer planets will move to a new sign, initiate a new energy for real. We are in a very pivotal time in human history, and how crazy that we are all alive now. This is truly amazing. And yes, even though there's lots of shits going on right now, but this is what happened when you're moving, ending an era and beginning a new era. We are in a very historical moment. We will all be in the history down the road. So this is truly a crazy moment to be alive right now. But whatever's coming up that needs your attention, that needs you to face, trust that, because they are all for the better good for the future, so they can help you to move forward to where you want to go, right? Wow. A Moonology card, full moon in Capricorn. We have super heavy Capricorn and Saturn energy here, right? It's really getting down to the nitty-gritty. Look at the real thing. What is really happening in your life? No more running away. Full moon in Capricorn. Take a reality check. This full moon might feel like a slap on your face, like get shit done. Like stop wasting time, right? Saturn rules time. It's about the chronos, right? No more running away. This full moon is shining bright and big onto your life, right? It's time to take a reality check. And last quarter moon in Capricorn, that Plutonian energy, review what needs to be seen. It's time to get real, right? To face the truth. No more running away. Our oracle card, to the sea, Cancer season, Saturn in Pisces. To the sea, card 7, right? This is all about, yes, this full moon is loud, is chaotic, is intense, is a lot of energy is moving through. Maybe you're feeling a lot, you're feeling overwhelmed and anxious about it, but it's okay. Embrace it. Allow yourself to go into this deep sea of emotions if that is what is required for you to really embrace it all, to feel it all, to process it all. I feel like this full moon, even though it's super loud, there's a lot of aspect going on, there's a sense of quietness and underneath it all, because Saturn is in Pisces. It requires us to go down in our subconscious, to take a step back, to retreat. Cancer season, the last day of Cancer season, back into our shelf, to process it all, to feel it all, the emotions of seas and our subconscious, right? To really allow ourselves that me time that you need to reflect, to realign, to release whatever it is that you need to do, right? Wow. Big energy. Please be gentle with yourself, take care, or maybe sometimes we need something not so gentle to give us that wake-up call, that rude awakening that we need, so that we can transform our life as well. So feel free to comment below, let me know how this full moon come up for you, what you're moving through, what you are releasing, closing out. I love connecting with you all the time. And if you want a personal reading, whether this is astrology, tarot, akashic records reading, whether this is distant healing with reiki or sound, feel free to email me. My information is in the description box below. Connect with me over on IG as well. I hope that you can help this channel grow. I really love what I do, and I hope to do more here. And subscribe doesn't cost anything but a click. Please help me to grow this channel if you love what I'm doing. Share this video, share this channel, subscribe, like this video, and big thank you. Super grateful for all of you. Wishing you all full moon blessings, and I'll see you in the next video.